in hockey, what does pressure mean? So
Making the puck possessor uncomfortable.
by doing what?
Attacking.
Taking away
Time and space.
time and space. Okay? So in the offensive zone, there's two ways to relieve pressure on yourself, right? And it's moving the puck. So one is you switch sides, right? So the puck is down here, right? You're going to have a D in front of the net, D pressure in the puck, center support, going down here, and here, right? That's the defensive zone setup. That's a lot of players, right? They're trying to take away time and space, but pressuring the puck significantly. So one way to take away that pressure is you switch sides. So you could rim it to your own D, when in deep and low. The other is to move to high ice. Okay? So as soon as we move, like say it's on this side, we've got a D up here, we move low to high. And you can do both, right? We can do low to high, D to D. Now we've done two things. So now this whole group has to spread out and has to chase, right? So now, to take away time and space, they've got to regroup and they get everyone over to this side. Okay? So that's the idea of why high ice is good. And then remember what I said is a lot of this goals originate. The puck comes from high ice into the scoring square. Okay? So that's why we have to have people in both. But this is the same concept that we were doing on the turn back, right? Rather than turn back, we're basically doing a regroup in the offensive zone, right? We practice a lot probably through the years. You do neutral zone regroup and re-enter, right? We can regroup in our own zone, we can regroup in the neutral zone. This is basically going low to high, using high ice to open things up, spread out defensive pressure. Then we can get into the where we score. Yeah. So those are the two ways to relieve the pressure that's on you. And so it doesn't all the time need to be a direct take-to-day pass, right? If I've got this pressure, I could rim it, and we've got another winger going here to try to get to the puck first, and then move it a little higher and some other things. So offensive zone-wise, I'm not going to go through too much from like the systems. Like there's 2-1-2 and the 1-2-2, and there's all these different kind of like offensive zone systems. To me, it's all around the possession, relieving pressure, so we can get the puck into where you score from. Okay. So obviously, we want to have a hard forecheck when it's ideal. You can be first to the puck, etc. But I'm not going to go. I'd just rather we focus on possession and getting the puck to where you can score goals. Okay. The reverse in the defensive zone, right, is we want to push the plays to the graveyard and do exactly what we want to take away time and space. So what we were doing with that skating of like the close the gap and contain, right? I said the two examples are like puck comes here, D, you're closing the gap and containing, right? If there's a player there, if you're first to the puck, be first to the puck. Okay? Same with wingers, puck comes low to high, you want to close the gap and contain because you don't want that D to get by you and go to the puck. Okay, so we're trying to find and create time and space for ourselves in the offensive zone, and we're trying to take away time and space in the defensive zone. Simple as that. Okay? All right. I'm going to use this on the board for PowerPoint. So when we go on the power play, again, we'll have a chance to practice this, but hard to do right now. All the positions change names. So we're going to do, or we're going to try to do, it's called an umbrella style of power play. Okay? So this player, we're trying to score this way. This player right here, that is the anchor. All right? This player here is left flank, right flank, and then we that are going to be in front of the net. And, I mean, right post, left post, it doesn't really matter, but that's net front presence, okay? So, ideally, the reason it's called an anchor is because we want to get the puck up into the middle, okay? Because that gives us the most options. And I'll draw how they will generally, like most people use a box, right? So, D, forward, forward. Okay? And one of them will pressure. So, this player can walk like, these aren't static positions. Everyone's going to be moving. But the umbrella is right here, right? That's what's creating the umbrella. And then, if we get the puck up here, we want these two people over there. Do we want them standing on the post, but the puck's right here? We want them to screen, right? And so, one player comes high screen, one player comes low screen. Okay? So now, we've got layers of screens. Okay? Just look at this. All right. Go back to where we were before. Generally, if you play on the right side, sorry, if you play on the left side, we'll put a right-hand shot in that position. Anyone know why? It's forehand shot,
One-timers.
one-timers, but there's another.
The goalie cannot cover the post shot if it's like a lefty shot.
And what's the reason? Anyone? Okay. If I'm a righty on this left side, where's the puck? On the forehand.
On the inside.
If I was a lefty, it would be over here. So, look at the angle that you have there versus the angle you have here. So, yeah, I think growing up, everyone's like, oh, I'm a righty, I play on the right side. It's actually advantageous to play your off wing because your puck is, your stick is to the middle. And so you have a better angle for shooting. So, this player is usually a lefty. This player can be on. Okay, these players don't. Doesn't really matter either. From those shooting positions, okay, everyone knows who Alex Ovechkin is, right? This is his office right there, right-handed shot, and he's open towards the net. That's why he's there. Okay. So the flank. All right. The job of these two players is screening, quick on rebounds, and if the puck misses the net, they recover the puck. So these players are generally big, strong players. They are not scared to be in front of the net and take a little beating. And they've got to be quick, so shot comes through, comes here, right? This player's got to jump, cycle it back up to this flank, and then back up to the angle. Okay? So what we want to do in a power play is create little two-on-ones everywhere. Okay, so it moves, say it moves to this side like I just drew here. So puck moves to this side, this player here, this player here, this player slides over. This player we still want kind of back door, but probably moves a little bit more in here. And this player moves closer this way. So everything slides. So effectively what we're doing now is this is another style of power play. It's an overload. So we're almost going to put everyone on this side of the net and try to create two-on-ones to get through, to get shots. Okay? So that's the concept behind how we shift from umbrella, overload, back to umbrella, and go to the net. So if I redraw this here, when you have them in the box formation, right? Effectively, we want to pull them out of that box and create, does anyone know what this lane here is called? It's a seam. Call it like create seams. or you can say lanes. So create lanes to the net. So we may want to have, this player's got the puck, you're gonna anchor here, you have this player down low. So we may want to create like a give and go situation where we drive and try to get this player to commit or this player to commit here, which opens up that player. But we want to try to pull their defense so we create seams to get to the net and get to the scoring zone. Okay? So that's the purpose of moving it around, is trying to get them out of alignment and break up their defensive. Okay? So that's what we'll work on power play. On the opposite for us, so what they just draw there is their normal penalty kill alignment. Box, right? I don't want to do box. So we're gonna try to do this, and obviously, like, you gotta practice this, right? But it's a penalty kill option called 3-up. Okay? And it's a little, we'll down this side. Is one better on the camera than the other? Matter? Okay. So rather than the typical box formation, right? In this box, like if the puck's here, it basically just shifts over, right? Everyone shifts over. Okay. 3-up is we have one net front player, and then the other 3 are like this. Okay, so this player is almost pivoting. So we have one player that stays in front of the net and covers in front of the net all the time. And then these 3 players are basically rotating here, rotating back, rotating this way. And there's probably only one time is if they do the switch sides and go like all the way around. It's really hard if all these players are all like over here, right? To get all the way over there. So in this case, we might have to switch in that player. But for most of the time, we want to have those 3 players just kind of rotating around the net front player. What makes this really hard is on most people's power plays, if they do something like the umbrella, you're putting 3-on-3 pressure. So that means you're matched perfectly, 3-on-3 with the umbrella. And it makes it really, really hard for teams to get the puck down. Because they're not used to that type of pressure. They're used to the box where everyone's kind of hanging back. And you've got, like if you got a box defense, right? So now you get 3-on-2 up high. We're basically going 3-on-3 up high. Okay? That's all I've got. Any questions? Again, we'll try to go through it, like, I know it's probably a lot to take in, like, right away for power play PK without having practice it on ice. But, we'll try to do the best possible this weekend, and to me, it's our, what did you say, but, each one of our tournaments is going to get successfully harder, okay? The Winnipeg one it's gonna be a tough tournament. Not only because of the teams we're playing, but because we played 3 20-minute stop periods. So it's a long game. We had a team 2 years ago there, and we only took 4D, and we were exhausted. So I said to Selene, I was like, how come you're not rushing the puck at all, right? Because you just do very kind of offensive beat. It's like, Dad, I am so tired, like, by the time we get the puck out of our zone, I just need to change. So that's where we really need to have, 3 full lines of DEF forwards for that term. Yeah, so to me, these ones at home are just stepping stones for us to practice some of the things that we want to do for this team to get to Winnipeg and compete there. Okay? All right, question?
What jersey number?
Where's our team manager?
Where's your number?
Last year, and then Joel, did you get a jersey?
So
Okay.
what we just
Oh, Tiny said like you
Yeah,
guys get
you're right.
spring
Because we
jerseys.
found 5 jerseys for the people who didn't play on the team last year. All right, right, well, good, thanks for your time, and
Thank you, Nathan.
we'll see you again.